Hello guys, welcome to the Dead Ops Arcade podcast, where we'll be talking all things DOA, both DOA 1 and 2. My name is Rambo, and I'm joined by qpDerekqp.
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Well, I guess the first thing we should talk about, Derek, is DOA 2. It's been out for over a year. That seems a bit crazy. Time flies, I guess. And maybe we could get some of your thoughts on the state of the community as it stands today. What do you think about that?
Well, Rambo, I haven't been too involved with DOA 2 community, but it's pretty crazy that the game has been out like a year and a half, and, surprisingly, there's still some people playing out there, so that's pretty nice.
Well, I was going to say that, the community's pretty dead, but yeah, I guess there are some people playing, and it's, as alive or as dead as ever before. It's not more dead, if that makes any sense to you.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if it's too early to start speculating on whether there's going to be a Dead Ops Arcade 3 with the release of the next Treyarch title in fall of 2018, I believe. But I wanted to maybe hear what you thought about it and the likelihood that it returns.
It's really too early to tell right now, I would say. I know Dave, he had like that one tweet replying to a guy who asked if there was going to be another DOA, and he said that the Silverback has many brothers. Hopefully that's a good indication, but after that, the rest is just speculation.
Well, that's what it is. It's a lot of speculation, and, there's people speculating whether there's going to be a DLC 5, and they have no proof, so I think it's fine for us to speculate on it. But yeah, I think there's probably a good chance, because DOA 2 was well received by a lot of the casual players, along with serious competitive players from DOA 1. They thought it was much better than the original. So I think there's a very good chance that it does in fact return.
Oh yeah, for sure. If you look at, like as you said, top players enjoyed it. If you look at all the top players from DOA 1, such as Frenzy, George, Beast, Man, they all loved DOA 2 and they all played it frequently.
Yeah. If it doesn't show up, not a big deal. We got DOA 1 and DOA 2 to play for another 10 years.
Oh yeah, definitely. Look how long DOA 1 lasted us. DOA 2 can last us twice as long because it is the second game.
Yeah, it only follows that that's the way it works, yes.
Rambo, I was curious, and I know this is a bit off topic, but if you were to have a DOA All-Star team, DOA 1 and 2 combined,
okay,
who would your 5 All-Stars be?
Oof. I would say D-Frenzy, that's a given, right? Although he's kind of washed, so I don't know, maybe I might want to leave him off. He's washed, he's a sellout, I don't know. But yeah, I guess we'll put him in there just for old time's sake. D-Frenzy, Feed and Gun, I don't know if a lot of people remember him, but he was a very talented player. First player to get 160 on solo.
Oh yeah.
Sneasel, who discovered the Invisible Monkey glitch, the Dog Bite glitch, how to get blue player on solo glitch, drop in lives glitch, and also, what was the other glitch he solved? Do you remember?
No, I think he's still looking into that one.
Okay. It was something to do with the Silverback on round 80, right?
I believe so. About how to skip rounds or something, I don't know.
The round skip glitch, kind of like Moon.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had D-Frenzy, Feed and Gun, Sneasel, I would say Psycho Throne, and you said 5, right? So a 5th player. Probably Zombie Prophecy, not to be confused with Zombie Stabber 22.
Really? Zombie Prophecy? Wow, that's pretty bold.
Yes, the Zombie P. Yes, he's a very talented player. He's an up-and-coming player, I think some might call him.
Well, on every All-Star team, you kind of need those young, those young guns, as they say.
Yeah, he's definitely a quick learner. Good precision with his thumbs when he's playing on the Xbox One controller. It seems like he really gets it. certain people, they just get it. He gets it.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I know this is your list and whatnot, but I would have, the Man coming off the bench, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I was going to include the Man in there, but the only reason I didn't include him, because it's not an even playing field for the other guys then. He's head and shoulders above everyone else, so he's like in a tier of his own. He's by himself. He's at the top of the mountain.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Oh, what I was going to say is, I guess technically he is retired, so he's more of like a Hall of Famer.
Sure. Yeah, I was thinking about getting a plaque of him with his gamer tag and just hanging it in my wall, because he's really such an influential player and important to the community in so many ways that you can't even begin to fathom.
100%. I mean, I'm sure that will increase your skill as well. If you just have the man like looking over
that's
you
the thing.
as you play,
That's,
just imagine
if you
that.
drop in lives, you just look at that plaque and you get some sort of rejuvenation and remotivation. In a few minutes,
Wow, nice vocabulary.
Well, thank you. I've been working on it. I've been taking lessons with iMrGeorge. So you would be able to build up your lives in a few minutes, I think. And the thing about the man is, he revolutionized boost games. People don't know that. He started taking the gem while everybody else was taking firepower and putting up those monster scores. So that's really something people don't take into account. That I think he may, in fact, be the best player of his generation. And if he was still playing today, I think he would be at the top, possibly still number one, compared to his colleagues.
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely make an argument. You know, Frenzy's obviously up there, George, iMrBeast, but I mean, you could argue that the man's ahead of all those guys, to be honest. I mean, if you just look at his 157 game, where he did that boosting game, right? It was a boosting game. How much was the score? Do you remember?
Well, he had a very huge score. One might say a monster score. And the thing about that game at Raji is, it was one of the best games you'll ever hear about. And I say hear because there's no gameplay to see. But it doesn't matter that there's no gameplay. The man is an honest man, he's a modest man, and he's a community man, alright? You could ask anybody who played with him. Whether it's Fritz, Beast, George, or you could drop a few tier levels and you could ask people like Nuge and cpD and CP3 and what they thought of him. And they'll all tell you that he was a very honest man, and his word means a lot. So if he got to 158, and he says he got there, you gotta believe him, I think. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much else to be said. I think we could admit now that we were a bit hard on him, because I think we were a bit jealous, I would say. Just
yeah, there's definitely some jealousy between Xbox and PlayStation. Some sort of rivalry going on between the two consoles. I don't know if it's as strong today as it was back then, but I think Xbox players were at the fault when it came to the relationship between the two consoles.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and that brings me to that next thing I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
And just how PlayStation was actually a lot better than we thought. Like, I know we try to say, you know, that Frenzy, he came over and he was the one that, you know, that brought PlayStation to where it was at and, like, took him up there. But to be honest, if you look back before Frenzy came, I mean, they were doing big things.
Yeah, they were. I mean, you know, Derek, a lot of people don't realize that Frenzy has a lot of 160s on Xbox as well, and helped elevate people's game on the Xbox as well, the same that he did on PlayStation. So it kind of cancels each other out.
Yeah, definitely. And like what we were saying, like the man was over there, and you know, we had people like Raji.
And iMrBeast was doing tremendous things in 2012. The guy was getting really high rounds and putting up really big scores and just blowing out the competition.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it may have took him a bit to beat 120, but I mean, he was still doing monster things.
Yeah, I mean, you know, people might point to some of his more forgettable games, like when he left round 56 with the firepower with only one life. But listen, everybody has bad games, right? It happens to everybody. It happens to you, happens to me, even iMrBeast. But iMrBeast overall was just a fantastic player. You know, he's one of the best DOA 2 players, even though he's never played. I'm sure he would do very well if he played. If he picked up the controller right now, he could probably get the record.
Oh yeah,
that's
easily.
How good he is.
Yeah, easily. You know, speaking of like bad games, you know, and people like to say that bad game that the man had with Frenzy, where he only had 6 lives on the 3 boost program. And what year was that again?
I think that was 2012.
It was 2012. Yeah, I mean, it was 2012, but I mean, that was still when, you know, I think he had that 157. Sorry, not supposedly, what am I saying? He had that 157, and, you know, 6 lives, 3 boost program. I mean, it happens, you know, it happens to everyone. That we shouldn't judge off of that. Like, that's what people don't understand.
That's precisely the thing, Derek. I think you hit the head on the nail there, is people are struggling in 2017, and this guy was doing the 3 boost program in 2012. You got to give him a break. You know, he didn't just mindlessly follow the trend of building up your boost with defeat. He said, you know what, I'm going to be me, I'm going to do my own thing, I'm going to have 3 boosts around. Because that's my play style, and it works best for everybody around me. So I think I really admired that about the man, and that's why he's probably one of the better players out there.
100%, 100%. I'm sure if he came back in DOA 2 today, I bet he could probably get some world records. Like, being serious, like, just imagine him with the host gem. Just, like, imagine that. Like, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, especially now that gem is more OP than ever before in DOA 2, he could probably put up 400 million easily.
Oh, yeah.
The next thing I want to talk about was boosting, because boosting gets a lot of hate from people. But the thing about score boosting is it's a lot of fun. You're getting armory when people take your lives. You're getting vehicles when they take your lives. You statistically die less when you're getting boosted, because you have all this armory and all this, other stuff going on. So for when people hate on boosting, I think they're missing the point. Video games are supposed to be fun, right? DOA is supposed to be fun. So why not boost every game if it's the most fun?
Rambo, and the thing that you actually forgot in what you just said is how skillful boosting is.
Yeah.
And I watched some of these streams with these players boosting recently, and I'm just in, I guess, awe. Like, I can't really think of the word, but I just picture how they move their thumbs like that, and like how they possibly, pick out those drops, and like, when to tell the guy to kill himself or when to not play at all. Like, sometimes they just don't even have to play at all. They're that good. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
Well, it speaks volumes that you could play so well without your teammates being present. You're just in complete control of the map, and your skill is dictating how the game is going. And I think it really, like you said, it's a testament to how good the players are, especially these newer generation Dead Ops Arcade 2 players. These guys are top-of-the-notch players. They go to DOA 1. They're very successful on that. They put up 120s. Some of them get 160. They're really doing impressive things on the game. So it's not like they're just a one-trick pony and only could play DOA 2. No, they conquer both games.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. I've been watching some of those DOA 2 players playing DOA 1 too, and I'm just like, wow, like, how can you just started playing DOA 2, I look at me and you, like, we've been playing since, like, 2010, 2011, and, like, we cannot probably do as good as they can do. I mean, it's pretty crazy.
Also, another thing that these DOA 2 players utilize so well is the purple ray guns and other purple weapons. I mean, I see some of these guys hold the purple ray gun for 10 minutes and they can make 10 lives within that period. And it's just some of the more impressive things you're going to see in DOA. Some people might say, 4-player games on DOA 1 or no fates. No. When you're using the ray gun, it all relies on precision with your gun and how accurate you are, and how you could run around the map without shooting your gun and survive. And I think that's really, really impressive that these players are able to do that.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there whenever you said about the running around part, because you had it. I mean, sometimes you had to do that in DOA 1 with a flamethrower when you got bird flamethrower, but these guys on DOA 2, they're holding these ray guns for what, a minute and a half, 2, looking for these skulls and creating them without shooting by running them into poles. I mean, that's impressive stuff right there. I mean, I wouldn't have thought back in 2011, 2012 that would actually, people could pull that kind of stuff off. I mean, you had your Bill Nips, like, running the zombies around, but I mean, this is next level stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and it's worth mentioning that these skulls are very difficult to obtain as well. They're pretty rare, so when players are able to utilize each one to the fullest potential, it's really good stuff. Another thing I wanted to briefly mention was the bonus rooms, especially on DOA 1. Now, a lot of players used to tell me back in the day, there's a pattern. You gotta look for it. You gotta have the right set of eyes and look for it. And I would often be in denial and say, no, there's no pattern. It's random. They created a game set. It's random. That's all there is to it. But upon reflection and my time away from the game, there is in fact a pattern. It works 80% of the time every time. So there is definitely a pattern that exists. And, players just need to look at the game from a different set of eyes sometimes, and it really opens up some things that you wouldn't see otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about your whole 80% of the every time bullcrap, but I mean, yeah, I would say that there probably is a pattern. I'm pretty sure I joined a public match this one time, and this guy somehow, I was in game chat, and he was like, all right, if you guys want a bonus room, go up. And then we went 4 rounds later, and he says, if you want an armory, go right. And after that moment, I just knew right away that there probably is a good chance that there's a pattern. Like, how else would this guy know that where these bonus rooms and armories are? I mean, just that's only explanation.
Well, that's the thing. I think Furious Feet on Fire and other players, MrBeast, AK Hydro, I Am George, I think they use a similar pattern. I think it's called the Tibetan method, and it really yields really good results. So I think people need to listen to these players and follow what they're saying, and maybe, you know, you'll get a higher round if you listen to some of these more experienced players and what they have to say.
Maybe if we would have followed these guys and maybe studied them a bit closer, if they had perhaps a theater, you know, like a theater like how they had in Black Ops 2.
Like Black Ops 2, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
If they had a theater, maybe if we could study those guys, perhaps we could have got multiple 160s and perhaps even beat it. Because if you can get that armory right before 160 and perhaps get like a chopper going into the round, then I think the sky's the limit.
Well, Derek, I think you're forgetting that it's not like DOA 2 where the boss round is as soon as the round starts. The chopper's not going to last 16 minutes. I think you've been playing too much DOA 2.
And you know, Rambo, that actually brings me to the next thing that's like been on my mind a lot lately. I don't know why, but like every time I've been going to work recently, been coming home, and this one thing keeps coming to my mind is that, you know, dropping lives on DOA 1 really wasn't bad. Like I think if more people actually did it, we could probably see more successful games in DOA 1. Because I think a lot of these newer players, they might be failing because they aren't dropping lives. I mean, it's pretty simple. I mean, if you look at games that were played in 2012, such as Fatal, when he dropped lives, I mean, the dude was a monster. I mean, if you saw all the lives he dropped on the map, like 6, 7, and had those for the next time around, perhaps we'd see more 120 defeats. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, the thing is, a few years ago, I would be inclined to say, you know, Derek, that's not legitimate. Because Be Like Fritz uploaded a video where he had over 100 lives on the Island Arena dropped. Okay, so people could do that at any time in the game. They could leave literally over 100 lives for the Crawler Arena 4th time around, just sitting there in the corners of the maps. So I would say no, but yeah, I guess a time away from the game and whatnot, it also enters my mind when I'm at school, and yeah, I guess it's pretty legitimate. It's just as legitimate as dropping lives on your teammate's head.
And yeah, Rambo, and to add on top of that, you know, a strategy that I've been really thinking about recently is, you know how everyone's been failing on 160 recently for whatever reason, is how about all 4 players, they drop lives in the corners. You know, they drop 9 lives. And so what they do is when they go into the boss round and they get down, you know, to 1 or 2 lives, how about they just start, you know, picking them up? And as they pick them up, you know, you can't lose. I mean, it's pretty amazing.
I think I'm following. Are
you
saying drop lives on top of the rocket for? No, that's not what you're saying, is it?
No, not on top of the rocket. I'm saying in the corners. So if you avoid the corners and you drop them in the corners, and like let's say your name is Havoc and you're down to 1 life on 160.
Hey,
and
that's not nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, it could be anyone. I mean, it's 160. It's a pretty tough round.
Well,
man.
I guess it's true. Yeah, okay. We're being fair.
But yeah, so say you're down to 1 life. Say it's Havoc. Say it's, you know, me, you know, Young Epic, anyone really. And if they're down to 1 life and they see those, you know, you got those lives in the corner. What you do is you have them, you go swoop up those lives, you start using your shield, and I really think you have a legitimate shot of beating all 4 monkeys.
No, definitely, because that one guy, Benji, ended up almost beating 160. He came very close. He was 1 monkey away, and the monkey suicided while gems were on the map. So just imagine if that monkey did not suicide right then and there. It could have suicided 5 seconds later, and he might be world record champion. Well, actually, no, because MrBeast has like 180. I think modded. Is it modded? Do you know if that's confirmed?
I'm not sure if it's modded or he just used the drop live method. I can't remember.
So did you get the method from him, or is this just like an original idea of yours?
You know, I've just, like I said, this has been on my mind a lot lately, and I've just been thinking of ways, like no one's really beat 160 yet besides MrBeast. But I mean, he's on a different level than everyone else. So, I mean, we don't know his secrets, but I've been thinking maybe that's one of them.
Because I was looking at a video where he was playing round 176, and I believe that's Crawler's 7th time around? 8th time? Which, I'm not too sure.
Hold on. So So if you take, it's the 5th arena times that by 6.
No, you're overcomplicating it. I think it's just the 7th arena, plain and simple.
Okay.
Anyways, he was on 176, and I think his gamer tag was Beast's Revenge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, wait a second. I saw that on DOA 2, actually.
Okay, I was going to say that, yes. Is it the same person? Does anybody have a clue?
I don't know. It said, was it Beast Revenge or was it Beast Revenge? I
think it was Beast, like a snake, you know?
Oh yeah, I know those.
Well, yeah, okay, so I guess we're unsure of who it was. That's fine, anyways.
That's another topic for another day, as they say, right?
That's another day, that's for sure, Derek.
Yep. And yeah, Rambo, I don't mean to tickle my own horn or anything. Is that the
I think you mean
expression?
toot your horn?
Yeah, toot my horn. But I was a big part of this color movement involved
Black
in
Lives
DOA
Matter?
too. No, not that. I mean, I'm talking about the colors in DOA 2, like green. You have red. You have purple. Is it blue or is it purple?
Well, I sometimes get confused with the color purple, the movie from a long time ago with Whoopi Goldberg. So I'm inclined to say purple, but I think it's actually blue.
And there was a lot of talks about this, like how you could change your color and be a different color as the host.
Yes.
I mean, it's still pretty amazing, and it's a very, very important feature in DOA 2. And not only it's a feature, it's an advantage that hopefully everyone's taking advantage of, because I'm not really sure if they are.
Well, yeah, it's definitely something worth repeating. It is a very vital part of the game, because you don't want to just stare at green the whole time. You want a little variety. You want to play as blue, you want to play as red, etc. It's kind of like you're playing a Power Rangers game, or you're watching a new Power Rangers movie. You're morphing into all these different colors, and it just adds variety.
And yeah, and I think you're forgetting about one thing as well, is that the advantages that come with different colors. Because with blue, I think for a fact, is that you get 4 dog bites when you have friendship.
Wait, are you sure that's true?
I mean, Mr. Beast said it.
Okay. That confirms it.
But yeah, and then you also have Red, who's a skinny guy. He can also, he avoids dog bites, I heard, from K-Dog. Is he the one that came up with that discovery? But one of them, you could avoid, like, dog bites. I know people say it's not an important thing in DOA 2 and whatnot, but I really think it is. I've died quite a few times by those dogs, and they really sneak up on you. And I think people are really underestimating those things.
No, definitely. Yeah, I think you were mentioning K-Dog. He was definitely a very influential player back in the day, and someone else might have said it as well. I think Salish. I don't know if you remember who Salish is.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, he was a community man. And Yellow, I think you wanted to mention as well. Is there an advantage for Yellow?
I don't know. People say about that big, strong arms and stuff, but I don't really think that's really the true thing with Yellow. But I know with Yellow, you can really pass lives on DOA 2.
That is a truism.
Oh, wait, was it DOA 1 or DOA 2?
Oh, okay.
Either one.
Sometimes I get confused. I get my shits confused.
Yeah, no, it happens. Like I said, these colors are just a big thing. I still get messages today, to this very day. Oh, wait, I just got another one. Yeah, and they're asking, how do I get blue in solo? And I'm just obligated to not tell anyone. And it's just the way it is. I mean, I can't explain it.
It gives you a competitive advantage, so why would you share it with other people? If it was something really minute and it didn't matter, then yeah, you could tell them it's not a big deal. But it's a very important aspect of the game.
Oh, and why would I give my, my greatest secrets, to my enemy? Like, why would I do that?
No, for sure. Yeah, I think you really bring up an interesting point when you talk about what you said earlier with the... Oh, 1 second, I have a business phone call to take. Make sure you shut off the recording, alright? Hello? Hey, David. What's up? Yeah. Listen, I really like the original, but I'm not sure if I could, in good faith, promote the newer product that you guys recently released. Okay, so the check has cleared. Alright. You want me to push the action angle, you said? Alright, anything for you, I guess. See you later. Have you seen Beauty and the Beast starring Emma Watson? This tour de force is a must-watch for fans of the original, and newcomers to the franchise as well. I'd highly recommend this movie to old kids 12 and under. Here's what one kid in this age demographic had to say about the movie. It was an instant classic. More fun, cooler, and action-packed than the original.
Hey, you have the chance to win a signed poster of Beauty and the Beast by Derek and myself, along with a free Dead Ops Arcade t-shirt, exclusive, one of a kind. This is some quality poster, I tell you. You can hang it up on your child's bedroom or on your jail cell wall. It does not matter, because it's quality shit. Drop a comment down below to enter this contest. Shipping takes anywhere from 10 to 52 weeks. And charges may apply.
Sorry about that, Derek. I had a phone call from David. You know, David Hoberman, one of the producers of Beauty and the Beast. Anyways, turn on the recording again now that the plug is done. So one of the final things I wanted to talk about was a DOA 2, Cyber's Avenging, and really what a solid game it is, right? It offers tons of fun, hours of enjoyment, and a good challenge.
Hey, don't forget first person. Don't forget first person.
First person? Oh, yes, first person. And, you know, it has a very elaborate weapon upgrade system. It has really a good variety of item pickups, a couple Easter eggs here and there. It's really an overall rich gaming experience. I don't know if you agree with that.
I agree with most of what you said. But I think the thing that you're forgetting about
is actually the multiple boss rounds. Like, that's the thing we were crying for. Like,
yes,
I was on my hands and knees, messaging, tweeting Dave King, just saying, like, please give us multiple boss rounds, and we got it. We got the Margwa, which is really actually a challenge. I know people say it's really easy, it's a free round, but I think when that thing comes charging at you, I get a little scared. I mean, I don't know.
You definitely do, because you get images flashing in front of your eyes like you're playing Shadows of Evil, and we all know that that's one of the better maps in the zombies lore. So whenever you could have something on the level of Shadows of Evil, you're in for a delight.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could just say that for the whole Black Ops 3 zombies in general. If you look at the Silverback fight as well, that epic fight and how hard, even like 64 was a challenge. I mean, it still is a challenge, really. I mean, if you think about it.
He boosts so many times and jumps and does all sorts of combo attacks.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's just so many, and you forget about the banana bombs. I mean, you forget about the banana bombs. I mean, you can ask a bunch of DOA 2 players about that.
Yeah, and you also got the banana bombs. People don't mention too often.
Hey, I said that.
Oh, sorry. Continue.
But yeah, I mean, and the thing is, too, is you forget about what the whole game is about. And that is Fido himself. I mean, we actually get to see the chicken that gets taken. I mean, if that's not the best thing I've seen in all of video games, and perhaps, film, in general, maybe to my own eyes, when I saw that big chicken come out of that giant egg and those little, heart-shaped, whatever those are, sprinkles.
It's a cute chicken. It's a cute chicken.
Yeah, it's a cute chicken. I mean, it's just...
No, sure. I mean, even ever since DOA 1, we've been waiting to get the backstory on this chicken and the quest for the soldier to find the chicken. That's something I think all zombie players can agree on. I think I can speak for them when I say that. It's just an important part of the overall zombie storyline. I know in Revelations people are trying to find the chicken farm, but look no further than DOA. The story is right in front of you.
Yeah, and that's why I was supposed to do this interview with Mr. Raffle Waffles, because he knew that I had the answers, and that was like the big part of why I, was the man. I mean, not the man, that guy's a legend, but, I was a man, of some sorts. I had some answers with DOA 2, because, I messaged Dave King, and we were cool, but, I mean, this stuff is next level.
Speaking of Dave King, I really want to briefly touch on the launch of DOA 2. Now, a lot of people give him a hard time, right? Because there was a couple bugs on release, but those were bugs that quickly got sorted out within a few days. Overall, the launch for DOA 2 was really smooth, and it was really one of the better launches you'll see for a game title.
What?